Welcome back to the channel. My name is Annie. So we are now starting the second week of the Every Bit Counts challenge. So day 6, 7, 8. But I have a question for you before I continue on, because I think there's 4 or 5 weeks in total for this challenge. What do you guys prefer? 1 to 3 days, like publish every day, every 3 day, every 5 days. This is what I'm doing right now. The first video is out and I published 5 videos back to back, so 5 days. So is it better 1 day, 3 days, or 5 days? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's go on to day 6.
Morning of day 6. Today I'm gonna take it slow. I went to a party yesterday, so I walked the garden, found 3 celery heads that could be preserved. I will be washing them, separating the tops from the stalks. And then after that, I decided, why not? I'm gonna go and harvest a couple of cinnamon basil and some pineapple sage for my tea blends. I don't blanch my celery, I just cut it, wash it, and then let it air dry a little bit and then put it in the freezer. Same thing, I'm gonna let these air dry and then put them in vacuum seal bags. These I'm letting the water dry out a little bit and then in the dehydrator. Recap of today, I have 3 bags like this. So this will be for my broth. So I'm gonna open 1 bag and just put it in my broth because it's gonna replace celery. And then this will be laid flat in the freezer for a couple of hours. And then I'll stand it up so that they don't like clump up. So this is a recap of today, plus the herbs I'm dehydrating for tea blends, which is pineapple sage and cinnamon basil.
Over the last couple of days, I've been harvesting green beans. This is over 3.5 pounds. My bean plants are dying. Maybe these ones, I still have it a couple, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, because these are a little later than my green beans and my yellow beans. But I am towards the end, and I was picking my brains. Am I just gonna pressure can them or try to do a new recipe? So I took out my new book. This is the all new ball book, Canning and Preserving. I just got this earlier on this year. Page 216, so pickled dill beans. So I need 3.5 pounds, vinegar, water, salt, red pepper flakes, dill sprigs, and garlics. And we're gonna try this. And it suggests to do it in wide mouth jars, 6 jars. And this is exactly how many jars, wide mouth, pint size, that I have left. So I'm gonna do that today. Okay, now let's do the recipe. So here I have 5 cups total of vinegar. The recipe says white vinegar, but I did half apple cider vinegar and half white. I have 6 cloves of garlic I will be smashing from the garden. I also went and harvested some dill sprigs and some bouquets. I'll be putting 1 of each in each jar. And the key here is I made a measurement of 4-inch because that's what the recipe says. And I just roughly cut my beans to 4 inches. And once I'm done, I'll be doing the assembly line. And now I'm going to be doing my brine. And there's 2 cups of water and 1/3 of a cup of pickling salt. The assembly can start. So I'm going to do 1 sprig, 1 flower, 1 crushed garlic clove, and then I stacked all my green beans, bottoms, all it's on the same side. Let's see if this works. It did. Okay. So let's continue packing the jars. Okay, so I'm gonna try something. The recipe says, I think it's 1/8 of a teaspoon of crushed red peppers. I think I'm gonna do 3 with red peppers and 3 with chipotle. You know, I wanna try it. So the mixture was up to a boil, and now we add the hot liquid to 1/2 of an inch of headspace. Then we're gonna process this water bath for 10 minutes. One done, 5 to go.
So I had some beans left, about a portion for one dinner. So I decided I was gonna blanch them in boiling water for 3 minutes and then dunk them in icy water, air dry them, and then vacuum seal them. Recap of today. So I have 6 jars of dilly beans, 3 being chipotle, and then 3 being cayenne pepper. And I had some leftover beans, so I blanched these and I put them in a vacuum seal bag. See you one day. 7, 8, I lost track. Day 8. So I have these much potatoes to process. Little backstory on this, if you're new to the channel, I saw a deal for a 50-pound bag of russet potatoes for $8. So it cost me $16, but they were pretty old. And this is what I have left. I think this is between about 10 pounds. Yeah, this looked like about 10 pounds. And I am using my apple core, and I removed the core of the apple to peel these. And then I have a container of water. But overall, I prefer peeling my potatoes with an apple peeler. For each quarts, I'm adding a teaspoon of salt, and for the pint, I am adding 1/2 teaspoon. Then I add boiling water to 1 inch headspace.
Out of the 10 pounds, this is left. Not much. I was not expecting this. I was expecting 4 jars, at least. But out of the 100 pounds, they were the ones that that was the baddest. I missed when I received my 100 pounds. I put it on my table. I took out everything I need to process right away, cooked right away, and blah blah blah. But it seems I forgot a couple, and I am now only with 3 jars, which is fine. It's fine because at the end of the month, everything will count. And I'm just gonna find myself, and for my morale, one more thing to preserve for today. Same thing as usual. You do debubbling,
replace everything, measure your 1-inch headspace, new band, a new lid, wipe your rings, this part to make sure that there's no residue, and then the counting process can start. My morale is a little bit back up. I've been a preserving machine last week, so this week I want to keep up. But you know, it's okay. Like I said, at the end, it's gonna all add up. So I found, I harvested over the weekend I think this is called Little Mermaid red cabbage. I love it. It tastes amazing. So I will be blanching this for 1.5 minutes and then vacuum sealing it. So you know how the blanching works. I've been doing it a couple of times, and then at the end, after the 1.5 minutes, you plunge it in cold water, leave it there, air dry. If you're not vacuum sealing, you can put it in your freezer on a thin layer for a couple of hours and then put it in your Ziploc bag like you would normally do. I air dry it and then put it in my vacuum seal bag. I will be sauteing this or look-alike cabbage roll, not cabbage roll because obviously I've cut them. And I'm working on the last of preserving today. I have some blueberry that I will be preserving in light syrup, and I will be water bathing this recipe. A friend of mine suggested to add a little bit of lemon juice to preserve the color of the blueberry. So this is totally optional. I'm trying. See you on day 9. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.